Overwatch 2 is the most negatively rated first-person shooter game on all of Steam. A lot of the negative reviews come from Overwatch 1 players, and honestly, I get it. Blizzard canceled the PvE mode, the entire reason for even making the sequel. They turned a paid game into a free-to-play game with aggressive monetization, and they changed up a bunch of aspects of the game that people already loved in ways that seemed like steps backwards. I never played Overwatch 1, so I can't speak from that perspective, but those are the facts. And they explain a lot about why the game is so poorly rated on Steam. So today, I'm offering a brand new perspective. As a first-time Overwatch player, I wanted to see what this game feels like now. And to make things interesting, I'm going full Ryan Trahan mode. No matter how bad my experience is, I have to leave a positive review, and I cannot lie. I'm definitely excited to try this game, but I can't help but being a little bit scared. Some of the negative reviews I found were colorful. Kid Goggles says, take a fat poop in your toilet. Use an ungloved hand, take the biggest turd out, adore that turd, give it money, whisper things to it, dream about it. The turd turns on you, abuses you, beats you, lies to you. It starts attacking your family, your friends, former teammates. Conclusion, don't grab a piece of poop with your bare hands. Prod by Benson says, it's like watching your beloved child grow into a drug addict with no future. I figure that best case scenario here, I find another first person shooter that I can sink some time into. And worst case scenario, I make an entertaining video that you hit the like button on because you pity me. First and foremost, I wanted to see if this game is any fun. Dias Pandache says, the best FPS ever played. Unique character designs, abilities, and new perks. Fun gameplay, modes, and modded custom lobbies. Overall a fun game, just F the haters. And Prolapsed Angus Beef says, honestly one of the worst games of all time. Not fun solo, with friends, anybody. Honestly, there's a lot that makes the game fun. A huge variety of characters, weapons, and abilities means you can always swap things up. One game you're flying around as a guardian angel, and the next you're rolling through the map as a hamster in a mech ball. And with so many maps in rotation, it never really feels like you're stuck playing the same thing over and over. The matchmaking's quick. I never felt like I was waiting, and the roll queue system makes sure you can lock in that type of hero you actually want instead of forced into leftovers that you're not comfortable with. But here's the flip side. The gameplay can be completely overwhelming. Every fight feels like you're at a rock concert where flames are shooting out of the stage while your girlfriend is yelling something incomprehensible into your ear. The lights, the sounds, the chaos, and honestly, as an almost 30-year-old human being, maybe this is just me admitting my age. I don't know. I tested this game in three 3-hour-long sessions, and every single time, I walked away feeling like I had just left a concert. Only instead of ringing in my ears, it was ringing in my eyes. My brain genuinely just needed a reboot. That said, the chaos is also what makes it addictive. It's super fast-paced, super stimulating, and it's dangerously easy to just slam the requeue button after every single game and lose hours without realizing it. So what's my verdict? Yes. Overwatch 2 is fun, but it's the kind of fun where you walk away wondering if you might have just fried your dopamine receptors. Fun changes a lot depending on who you're playing with, so that brings us to our next question. Is Overwatch 2 worth playing solo, or do you need to play with friends to enjoy it? Even the negative reviews don't agree on this one. Evil Eye says, don't play this game alone unless you live in a padded cell. Saves money on property damage. And Ghost Doge said, bad game if you play with your friends, you will lose your friends, and it will still be a bad game. Overwatch 2 has this thing called the endorsement system. After every match, you can endorse up to 2 teammates, but here's the catch. Until you hit endorsement level 2, you can't chat at all. No voice, no text, nothing. So here's what happens when I try to speak. Microphone is muted. Your account is restricted from communicating in public voice channels. Endorsement level 2 is required. According to some folks online, it takes about 30 endorsements to unlock. And at the rate that people seem to be endorsing each other, even if you have a good game, my estimate is that this could take up to like 80 matches to achieve. So let's say each game is 10 minutes, that's 800 minutes or about 13 hours of playtime before you can even type a single hello. I was originally planning to test the toxicity of the game chat. But after a frustratingly silent 9 hours, I changed my mind. I don't really understand how Overwatch can have this reputation of being extremely toxic if they make it impossible for you to say anything at the exact same time. So if you're looking for a game where you can jump in and socialize immediately, Overwatch isn't it. And because it's such a team-based game, you're always going to have a better time playing with friends. At least you know which one of them is going to slack off instead of being surprised when your random teammate that usually plays healer decides to try DPS for the first time. If you just don't care about talking to anybody and you just want to play, then great. The role queue means you can play whatever role you want, whenever you want, which makes it great for solo queuers. So yeah, both solo and with friends are completely viable options. And completely painful. The thing is, Overwatch 2 has the same challenge that every hero-based PvP game has. Valorant, League of Legends, even Brawlhalla. The only way to really be ready for all of the countless abilities that your opponents can throw at you is sheer experience. There is no shortcut for that. Getting to know the heroes that you want to play and getting to know all the heroes that you could be playing against is going to take some time. And because of that, there is a high skill ceiling. To its credit, Overwatch does give you a bit of a starting runway. There's a tutorial that walks you through the basics: movement, abilities, capturing objectives. You can also practice against AI if you don't feel ready to fight real people yet. And if you really want to get advanced tips, there are tons of YouTube guides out there. But even with that, as a brand new player, it's still overwhelming. Every fight throws abilities at you that you don't recognize yet, and the only real way to learn is to get stomped by them repeatedly until you start piecing it all together. So is Overwatch 2 beginner friendly? No, not really. It tries, and it's no worse than the competition, but at the end of the day, joining Overwatch still feels like an initiation ritual more than anything.
If you survive this 5-story plunge, your character will be proven.
And when you finally survive that initiation, there's a new question. Is the game actually balanced or just chaos disguised as competition? What does balance mean in an online game? It means the availability of viable gameplay options. None are too weak or too strong to compete. And honestly, for Overwatch 2, I don't know. As a new player, I don't really feel right making the judgment on this. I personally got my beatings from a large variety of heroes. So here's what the reviews had to say. I played Overwatch 1 and it was pretty cool, but Overwatch 2, this is the most unbalanced piece of trash I've ever played. The game is filled with ridiculous splash damage, broken combos, and a complete lack of proper balance. Some heroes just dominate while others feel completely useless. It's like Blizzard doesn't even try to fix the mess they created. If you hate yourself, then you'll love this game. Unbalanced game that keeps shoveling bad updates down your throat. And these are just a couple examples. This is probably one of the more relevant reviews that I've seen on Steam. A lot of people complain about the balance in this game, so I guess that's where we land. It's not balanced. Now let's talk about Blizzard's favorite thing about Overwatch 2, the monetization. Overwatch 2 went free to play, but thankfully it didn't go pay to win. The monetization is aggressive though. Skins are expensive, there's a battle pass, and the store rotates constantly to nudge you into spending. Loot crates though are a cool addition. You can earn some for free, which can get you some random cosmetics. They feel like a small step in the right direction. And remember, what I'm about to say is from the perspective of a new player, not someone who paid for Overwatch 1 and then had to suffer through the aggressive monetization of a free-to-play sequel. So here's my take. Leaving a negative review just because skins are overpriced misses the point. Wanting cosmetics is just the human urge to signal prestige. And yes, I've fallen into that trap in other games too. My Brawlhalla account is probably worth a lot of money. Yeah, monetization is aggressive. I don't think it ruins the game itself. It certainly doesn't make it unplayable. Alright, I think I have enough information to write my positive review, but before we do that, let's go over what we've learned really quick. Overwatch 2 is fun, but maybe a little bit too chaotic. As a solo player, it's a mixed bag. The role queue makes it a little easier, but Blizzard basically gags you by the endorsement system, so good luck talking to anybody. For beginners, it's brutal. Only way to really learn is to get stomped continuously until it starts to click. The balance doesn't really seem to be a strong suit of this game. And the monetization is aggressive, but at least it isn't pay to win. I promised you I would write a positive review. So here's what I'm gonna write. Never experienced ringing in my eyeballs before. 10 out of 10. If you've got another game with awful ratings you'd like me to try, drop it in the comments below and I'll test it next. This has been Sule. We'll talk to you next time. Don't forget to subscribe.